internet today. It seems that it's either here or it's not. However, since my rig won't be able to do the live at the moment, I thought, hey, perhaps we do it this way. Now, as I'm a bit farther away and I cannot see the comments, play nice or else I'll turn it off. Okay? Play nice, kiddos. We were discussing dystopian books and dystopian futures. That's what I was discussing anyway, before we were so rudely interrupted. And we were talking about the Dean Koontz classic, Demon Seed, where the computer impregnates the lady who lives in the house with his child and then proceeds to make said child the sentient being of artificial intelligence by downloading his soul into the child so that the child would be raised by the woman. What a plot. It's so convoluted and so different. When you're reading it, the book, and when you are watching the film, you really have to concentrate, because it's nigh on impossible to understand the plot otherwise. So how many of you have had the opportunity to read or watch? The film stars Julie Christie, the gorgeous Julie Christie, and she is absolutely stunning. I think she filmed it just before or straight after the Daphne du Maurier classic, Don't Look Now, with Donald Sutherland. But anyway, I digress. So the machine basically holds the lady, Julie Christie, hostage, forces her to get pregnant, and then proceeds to accelerate the rate of the child growing so that the child can be primed and ready to receive the computer's soul, and therefore bringing him onto planet Earth and thus creating the sentient being. And if you haven't seen it, I really do suggest that you do, because it is an absolute classic. An absolute classic. And I'm sorry we're having to go live this way, my darlings. It would seem that the internet is so unstable at the moment that my phone seems to have been able to tap into it. It is being repaired, but slight nightmare. Was it? Yes, it's British, so easy to recognise with that accent. Oh yes, thank you. Hello to everyone that's just joined in. Thank you. Please play nice, be nice. And what happened with the Wi-Fi? We would love to know. Unfortunately, it was a massive accident, and we ended up with the cable guys decided that they were going to go and put a shovel, spade, whatever, straight through the main cable. And the poor BT man, God bless his soul, he has been working since Friday to get the internet up and running back in this area. I mean, who in the right mind, A, goes through a cable, and B, thinks it's a good idea? So at the moment, the internet is being held together by an elastoplast. And the poor man is doing his absolute best to get it so that everyone down the street has actual proper internet, proper cables that actually work. So yeah, I understand how upset he is. I can hear him. He's not a happy man. But you're doing a great job, sir. Thank you very much. Keep going, my little trooper. We'll get there in the end. So anyway, we're discussing Demon Seed by Dean Koontz. Or, if you are incredibly lucky, you've got a copy that says the pen name Lee Nichols. And if yours says Lee Nichols, hang on to that book. It's very rare because it's the original before it was reprinted as Dean Koontz. Dean wasn't sure whether or not this book was going to take, and he was very worried, so he gave himself a pen name and called himself Lee Nichols, and it worked. He became a world famous writer. I don't know if he's produced as many books as Stephen King, but I know that it's up there is the number that he has produced. Any road. If you've got a copy that says Lee Nichols and it's a Demon Seed, the novel Demon Seed, and it says Lee Nichols, hang on to it because it is worth a fortune. You can easily command £150 just for that paperback, and isn't that a beautiful thing? I wish. Oh, Paul, you know what, my darling, if you can't play nicely, you're going. Yeah, well, there's a lot more going on than I know. Thank you very much. And that poor man is out there fixing it, and he's having a hard time, so leave him alone. In fact, you're going in time out. There you go. Bye-bye, Paul. You can't play nicely. You don't get to play at all. There we are. I don't know. Awful people. Why do people have to be so awful? You don't know what that poor man outside's going through. And we need to leave him alone to get on and fix. Because that's all he can do. He's here to fix. And I know. I believe in you, BT man. I know that you can fix. You're amazing. Well done, sir. And I am busy ironing today. That's what I do. That's my job. I iron, I wash, I iron, I repair clothing, I work for many, many clients. I do alterations, you name it, I sort it. That's my job. And I actually really enjoy it. I really enjoy working for myself. It's a lot of fun. But anyway, you're not here to hear about how much I enjoy doing ironing and washing and cooking and cleaning, are you? No. I love dystopian books. I love end of the world books. I love apocalyptic books. Yeah, zombies, you know, science fiction, vampires, werewolves, ghosts, the lot. I absolutely adore good horror written well with a good story. Henceforth, why I love James Herbert. But today, I thought we would just discuss dystopian futures with artificial intelligence. And I thought that that's a good one to go with today. So we were starting off by discussing Demon Seed by Dean Koontz. And like I said, if you've got a Lee Nichols version, which is the original, in a paperback, you're looking between £100 and £150 just for that paperback. So if you've got one of those, you're sitting on some serious cash. And look at you. And I was also discussing in the previous stream the Forbin project. Now, if none of you are familiar with that, it is quite an old American film. I think United Artists, or was it Paramount? One of them anyway, was responsible for producing it and distribution. It could have even been Warner Brothers at this point. I can't remember. Any road. There we are. The upshot of Forbin project. There is a scientist. There's always a scientist. And this scientist creates a computer system that he is assured by the computer in what he believes is the fail-safe system, that this computer will be the answer to mankind's problems, and if we allow this computer to have control and full autonomy over mankind, then we're never going to have to make any more difficult decisions. War will be over and everyone will be happy and live in a utopia. Unfortunately, he missed out one big glaring problem. Yeah, and he just sort of glossed over this and didn't think it would actually be a problem. But the computer, the mainframe that takes over all the computers across the world, including all the atomic warheads. Glaringly obvious problem here, everyone. And the scientist suddenly and rightly realizes that this computer now has his finger on the red button and he can destroy mankind whenever he chooses. And he doesn't make any bones about explaining that to the said, sorry, I keep disappearing, don't I? Hang on, try that. Is that better? Can you all see me a bit clearer? Good. Anyway, so the computer doesn't mince his words. He says, aha, I now own the big red button. You lot, mankind, are all going to behave yourselves and you are going to do as I say. And the scientist is thinking, but we are mankind, we are free thinking, we do not bow to the machine. But the machine says, I don't think so, sunny sunshine. You are now my prisoner. And he isolates the scientist from all the other scientists and says that he can no longer talk to any of the other scientists. And the scientists think, oh my goodness me, how are we ever going to stop this machine? Because they realize they made a massive mistake and they have to get rid of the machine. The machine knows that they know this because he's a sentient being now. And any time they make a move, it's like cat and mouse. Anytime that these scientists make a move to try and remove the machine gets the upper hand. And the machine kills off anyone who goes anywhere near his mainframe. So how do they get rid of the problem that is the machine? And this is where it gets pretty disturbing. They realize that they're going to have to get messages to the scientists, from the scientists that the machine has isolated, and they do this via the secretary, who the scientist says, I am all on my own, I am lonely, I need company. Adam wasn't allowed to be on his own. God created Eve. The computer thinks about this and so decides to let the secretary come in because he believes he is God, does the computer. He believes he is God Almighty and the new God that the humans are now being forced at gunpoint to worship. Right? And honestly, it is such a good film. And anyway, the secretary comes in and she ferries messages from the scientist to the other scientists, and it's decided that they have to create a complex that's so difficult that the computer can't solve it. And they've decided that this problem will send the computer will be so obsessed with trying to fix it that it will take all of his attention to fix it, and he won't be therefore concentrating on what the rest of the